Yo, guys, what's up, and welcome back to the Marvelous Chats podcast. This is episode 181. Tonight on the cast is myself, Finto, and Alex, aka Zerbrolf. We're going to be talking about Gen V Season 2 and any other nerdy news in between. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment below if you're watching us on a replay. And without further ado, here we go. Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
How are you?
I'm sneezy all of a sudden.
Yeah, you do
God.
sound a tiny bit under the weather.
I'm fine. It's just like I like all of a sudden it's like dust just went up in my nose and I'm just like trying to feel better before we start, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Ugh.
I get this way like when the seasons start changing, and for us it's like yo-yo shit. Like it's like really like hot one day and then it's cold. Like I walked out of the house there like 2 days ago and I could see my breath. It was freezing and I was like, holy shit, got into the car, heated seats on, like, hot air everywhere. And then like the next day it's like 19 degrees. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's like just that shit just kills my body. Like I'm all over the place. But yeah, I seem to be okay so far now, knocking on wood, because I probably jinxed myself now. But yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed I don't get too sick anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't usually get sick or anything. It's just like this wave of like, because I did walk outside, so like it has been raining, so hopefully like the grass pollen hasn't been like going crazy, but like maybe that moment I walked outside it just kind of ruined me.
Yeah. And your surgery went well on Sunday, wasn't it?
No, it was on Friday.
Oh, sorry, Friday.
Yeah.
Um, was it
So I
sore? Were you in a lot of pain?
No, not really. Like, cause yeah, they so what happened was we went into the clinic, or like the surgery area,
Yeah.
and I'm in the desert. No, I would say I'm closer to the mountains. Um I so like we went to the place for surgery, got signed up, and they're like, hey, sign this paperwork, do all this kind of stuff. And then as I sat down, started to check off a couple things, and they're like, wait, actually, you've already did this online. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, but I just didn't want to argue or anything. And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, don't worry about it. So then I gave them back their stuff. And then, like, about a couple minutes later, they bring me into the back. Katie's there with me, and we take a seat. And then they explain everything that's going to happen. They're like, we're going to inject you with this and this. We're going to put some air in your nose, like, so that you have like extra breathing while you're down.
Mhm.
um and then you're probably going to pass out. You're not going to know what's going to happen. You're going to wake up and you're going to think it's only been like a minute or two when it's actually been like 30.
Just
And
wait till it's over.
yeah, so
Yeah.
then doctor comes in, says the same thing, and then they finish up what they're doing. They get me ready. They put the needle in on the right arm, and then I start then like they put the needle in, they put the plunger down. I feel it going into my system, and then like about, I don't know, a minute later, all of a sudden I go, oh man, I think I'm starting to feel it now. And then
Oh,
immediately, yeah,
gone. Yeah.
I felt like I could hear everything, but it
Mm,
was all fast forward. It literally felt like people were just running by me, like
that's
super.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
then I wake up. They're like, Alex, get up, wake up. And I'm like, huh? And they're like, we're done. I'm like, holy shit, like that was quick.
That was
Eh,
efficient.
Yeah, like they injected me with with a combination of stuff. I can't remember what, but like they called it the Bahama Mama. Like, they're like, you're gonna feel real good.
That's hilarious.
um, and so I get up, and I said I was up for like how long? And they're like, yeah, about 15-20 minutes. And then Katie was like, yeah, you were talking about like having milkshakes and burgers. Like, I was like, I don't
Hilarious.
remember any of that. Like,
There's a lot of funny videos of like people waking up from anesthesia and stuff, like, and just loopy. Yeah, it's very funny. I've never really had it. I remember I had it once when I was like maybe 14. I think I broke my leg, and I was in hospital and I was waiting for like I had to have like my leg kind of re-broken into place because I broke it in three places and it was kind of all janky. So
oh
I
damn.
needed to go in for a procedure to kind of straighten it out, and then I was in a cast from my hip down to my toe, like a full leg cast. And I remember like thinking to myself, I remember thinking like, the nurses were saying to me like, oh, you get to pick what color your cast is going to be and so on. And I was like, oh, cool. And, I was thinking like, oh, what color am I going to pick and all this stuff. And then I randomly, I don't even remember being knocked out. I think they did it to me on the sly. And
Hmm.
um, I just remember like waking up and the bed was getting like smashed through the double doors and like the sound of it going through the door woke me up and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I like absolutely out of it. Like, and I looked down and I had like a big giant green cast like on my whole leg. And I was like, oh no, it's like, I didn't even get to pick the color. I was like, what the hell? It's like just a complete shock that the whole thing had happened. Um, that's the only time, that's the only time it ever happened to me. But yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I'm glad it went well
Dude,
though, man. I'm glad it went well.
yeah, dude. So like I got home and it was a little painful. Like it was
Did you
you
swell up
know,
loads?
it did have a little bit of swelling. Like I didn't have all four wisdom teeth. I only had three. So I had the top one on the right and then the two on the left.
Mhm.
So if you have all four, you're kind of you're kind of fucked. Like both sides are going to be pretty swollen. But apparently on the top ends, like you're not really going to be that swelled up. But if you have any on the bottom, that's where it's kind of
Yeah,
having the issue.
yeah. Your beard probably hit it a little bit as well. I'd say if you were clean shaven, you might have noticed the difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
That's okay.
Um, and so Saturday goes through. I'm in a bit of pain and whatnot, and they're like, just take this ibuprofen. We prescribed you some oxycodone, and in case like you really need to take like a painkiller. The other thing is that when you take it, you're gonna be down for the count. You won't be able to operate anything or do anything basically. Um,
Oh, oxy, bro. That's scary.
oh, dude, like I was telling Katie, I was like, I really don't want to take it unless I absolutely have to, and luckily enough, I didn't have to take it at all.
If I got hit by a train, bro, I wouldn't be taking that stuff. I've seen too many fucking documentaries on it. That shit is legal heroin, like it's destroying lives. Scary
Yeah,
shit, man.
yeah, so like cuz like I don't think I have an addictive personality, but at the same time I don't want to find
No,
out.
bro. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I don't want to
You
find
never know.
out.
I'm very thankful I don't really have an addictive personality. Like drinking stuff, like I'm kind of okay with. Like I don't ever think about like, oh, I'd love to go out drinking and stuff like, but like I know alcoholics and I know drug addicts and it's a scary time, man. It's a scary
Oh
time.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Like even gambling, dude. I know when to quit.
Oh
Like
yeah, dude.
it's
That's another
crazy.
scary one that a lot of people don't really think about, but there's some people that just like are constantly on their gambling apps and shit and can't watch a game of sport without putting a bet on and like that shit is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Uh
And I'm the same, bro. If I ever step into a casino, like I've got money in my back pocket, which I know I can spend, and then once that's gone, or once you know, if I make like let's say I have $200 in my back pocket, that's kind of the spending money. And once I spend it, if it's gone, it's gone. And if I make the 200 back, I'll put that in a different pocket, and then everything else is for free. So
yeah.
it's like I'm going in there for free now. So I'm kind of real like strategic or logical, I suppose, when I think about it. And yeah, I know some people that will just
Oh yeah.
they,
Like
they won't they won't stop, man.
during my birthday, I like I got like maybe 500 out, and I went to go play blackjack because that's kind of like my favorite spot to be. The
Mhm.
tens weren't available, so I went into the 25s, and that's brutal. I should
Yeah.
have stopped. I should have stopped when I was 175 plus. But I was like, I'll play a little bit more. And then when I went like 100 negative, I'm like, let's go back. And then I
Yeah.
gave Katie the rest of the money. I was like, here, put that towards like, bills or something. I was like, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
gonna, yeah, like the rest of it goes to bills. Whenever I took it, I don't want to put it back.
Yeah, I was only away there during the summer, we were in Portugal and the hotel that we stayed in had a casino attached to it. And on like one of the last nights, my parents watched the kids and we went down and I was like, do you want to go check out the casino? And she was like, yeah, let's go. So we went down, played a little bit of blackjack and same thing, like, the two of us were kind of like $50 up and we were both just kind of like, yeah, let's just go. I was like, I'm happy with that. Happy days, cash out. And I was like, that's our lunch for the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
That was it. I was happy with that. Yeah, that's all I
Yeah.
need.
I mean, if I'd have stayed at like even 75 plus, I'd have been like, let's get a pizza or something and then just like,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
enjoy the rest of the night.
Exactly, dude.
Um,
We
but
went to Vegas for my 30th with like I went with like five of my friends,
mhm,
and when we were there, one of my friends won like a couple of $1,000, and he was
nice.
playing roulette, and his girlfriend his wife now, his girlfriend at the time, was kind of like, "Oh, hey, put like $20 on Red 9 for me or something." And he was like, we were over there, and he did a few rounds, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got to put down the Red 9 for the missus." And I was like, "Yeah, go for it, go on." Boom, wins, hits Red 9, 36-1 odds, and then he doesn't like. He just gets a couple of chips and doesn't really say anything, and we're kind of just fucking around, like throwing down a few more. It hits it again. So after that, he was putting Red 9 down every time. He won it like 3 times in the space of like 20 minutes or something. And like we were kind of like, this is crazy, not really knowing anything about it. Like we weren't doing any math or anything. And the dealer kind of goes, "Hey, bro, you're like 3,000 up." And we were like, "What the fuck?" So he ended up coming home at the end of it because he ended up he ran Red 9 for the whole time that we were there, and I think he hit it like 7 times or something. It was crazy, man. He came home with like more money than he left with. It was insane. He had a free trip to Vegas. Like it was crazy.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was
That's
so
the
cool.
best.
So cool, man.
Yeah.
Wish I could say the same.
So while I was down for the count, like I was kind of mainly like resting and whatnot. I wasn't really thinking about doing anything, but I managed to start watching like a lot of the NHL games because I wanted to
Nice.
at least follow like the Kraken schedule. Because I was like, you know what, I really want to be a Kraken fan this year. I want to get started on things, and um, they're opening, like they won 2 in a row, like for
Nice.
their opening schedule, and that
Sick.
was like, and it was cool to watch because that was their first in their whole like new career as Kraken. Like that's the first time
Yeah.
they've ever had 2 consecutive wins on their opening schedule. I was like,
That's
cool, that's great. I'm really happy for them. And I don't necessarily have like a super favorite like person yet, but I did get a jersey because I wanted
nice.
to like really represent. You want to see it real quick?
Yeah, get it.
Okay. Give me one second.
I'm fucking wearing a Ranger hat right now. I'm a big fan. I wish I could say the same. The Rangers are having a shit start to the season for any NHL fans.
I
Shit
mean,
start to
like
the season.
afterwards the Kraken were having quite a rough spot, and they got like 1 win. They had 1 win against the Maple Leafs. They had a loss against
Beating the Leaves is
um,
impressive, bro, because the Leaves are a good team.
but yeah.
Make sure you give Sharky grief for that. Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
cool, bro. I like it. I really like it.
It's number 35.
I don't know who the
So
I don't know any of the players, man.
it's Joey Decord. He's a pretty good goalie.
Nice.
He started not too long ago. They signed him in for 2 years. And
Nice.
then I think in like probably about 12 days ago, they signed him on for 5 more years with the Kraken. So
Let me see. When are we playing each other?
dude, we
We
got
are
our asses
playing
handed
November
to us.
2nd. November
November
2nd.
2nd. Nice.
Yeah, not
We
too far away. Look.
we got our asses handed to us though when we went to go see the Flyers.
Oh yeah. That's
Dude,
weird because like the Flyers are shit, right? And
but
now what's funny about hockey is like one year you can be absolutely terrible, and then the next year they can be quite good. Like it can change over the summer, like very much. Like it's quite insane. Um, the fact that you beat the Maple Leafs and lost to the Flyers, I would normally say that's bizarre because the Maple Leafs will be a much better team.
so nice. Dude,
Yeah, it's
and
cool, man.
but like the thing was is that we lost a few of our key players. We usually have like I think McCann, Montour. I'm starting to learn their names a little bit more.
You'll get there once you start just watching it more. They'll start just absorbing all the names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Decord's great, but like he did have an error during the run, like against the Flyers, and so like they're like, oh shit. And then he got like they sunk in 3, so they brought out Grubauer, and Grubauer was doing okay holding the line, and then it finally got to I think I can't remember if we went to OT or anything, but like essentially like we were trying to catch up, and then all of a sudden they just got another end, and it's like, okay, well it's gonna be that kind of game where we just can't get anything through.
Yeah,
um
dude.
and then yesterday we went up against the Capitals, which I think is they're Washington DC. It's like the Washington
Yeah.
Capitals.
Yeah.
And man, dude, you could tell the difference when you have the like the star players when they're not there,
Yeah.
and you just have like like kind of the secondary team coming through, and they're trying to do their best, and they just don't have that same aggression as like the star players.
Mm,
It's fucking night and day, dude. Because the shot count was, I think it was like 12 or 13 from the Kraken. It was
yeah,
like 30 something from the Capitals. They were going so hard on us, and it was
yeah.
like,
No,
oh man,
Capitals can be again. They can be amazing or they can be terrible. Like again, we always have to play them in like the playoffs and shit, and like they can be one year they can be the champs, and the next year they can be terrible. Like it's hockey's a crazy sport, man. It's
it's
wild.
it's so cool though. Like I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a great time. And then Katie talked to me like I think the other day and was like, "Hey, so I know that usually I try to keep things like a surprise, especially for your birthday or for Christmas. And I'm just gonna let you know, like, I want to bring this by you. There's a game actually the day before your birthday, and it's gonna be in Seattle.
Fuck yeah,
I was wondering if you wanted to get tickets. I'm like, hell yeah, I want to get tickets. Like,
bro. You've no. Is this the will this be the first game you ever go to?
yeah,
Oh
oh yeah.
man, if you think you're a hockey fan now, wait till after you go to a game. You're gonna be watching every single game after you go to that game. It is a different ball game.
I'm
Like
gonna
my
wear this
obsession,
jersey, man.
better. I honestly like I've liked hockey since I was a child, and like it was hard. Obviously, being young and being in Ireland, like when we didn't have, you could never watch the games or anything. But I always loved like the Mighty Ducks movies and all that sort of shit. And we used to like go like street skating and stuff. And there was no like ice hockey over here, so you could never play it as a kid. Like I could never go and play for a team or anything, but I always did love it. And then I remember like when I first started going to New York after my sister moved there, um, I started going to like one game a year, and like that first time after going to that first game and getting my first jersey and stuff, like I was hooked. I was watching every single game, like, and I've been diehard fan of the Rangers for 12 or 13 years now. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's actually been a long time. Like so, um, yeah, no man, I'm telling you, after you go to that game, it's gonna be nuts. You're gonna be a huge fan.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
big
super
time.
excited about it.
I'm looking at your record here as well. You beat the Golden Knights in the second game. That's impressive.
Yeah, like it
The Golden
was,
Knights are one of the best teams in the league. So
dude, I was super psyched about that one. That was a really good one. We won it in OT, I think.
yeah, and you beat the
Yeah.
Maple Leafs in OT as well, which is again another fantastic win. And even getting a
Yeah.
point, seeing a shootout game against Senators, that's another
Oh
good
my
win.
God, that game was so rough. that was such
Yeah,
a that was such a harsh one. Like as soon as I got the shot in, I'm like, oh my God, we got to make this one now. And they miss, and it was like, fucking over.
yeah, dude. Oh, shootouts are intense, man. Intense. I remember the second year I started like really following it. The Rangers made it to the finals and they lost in game five, and I was heartbroken, man. I was like, but like again, I was only that was like my second season of following it properly, and I was like, shit, we're in the cup and we're going to the final. We haven't been there since. So I'm like I thought like, oh shit, mate, we're gonna be. I would like is the hype of the cup going to be like this like every couple of years? No. The last
No.
time they won it, last time they won it was '94, man. Like Jesus, so long ago.
Jeez.
Yeah, and the Maple Leafs last time they won it was in the '60s. It's like '67. So
Damn.
like there's some teams that just they get so close and they just can't win it. I think it was two seasons ago the Rangers were like on the top of they won the President's Trophy, which means they ended the regular season with the most points in the
Mhm.
entire league, so number one in the rankings overall, and then they get knocked out in the playoffs. And then, the next year they didn't even make the playoffs. I'm just like, how do you go from being literally the number one team, most points in the entire thing, to not even qualifying the next season in the space of a couple of months? It just turned to shit.
It
Oh, bro, it's
happens, man.
awful.
Like,
Oh, it's so
dude,
heartbreaking, and we haven't won a home game yet this season, and
oh wow.
only played one. We've only scored one goal at home this entire season. Like literally, the Rangers like have broken an NHL record of like the worst performance on home ice at the start of a season.
Oh,
Like literally,
Jesus.
no team have ever done this bad. But then, in the space of like 4 games, played 2 home games, didn't win them. Played 2 away games, scored 11 goals in the away games, and won the away games. But then can't win at home. And now it's I think 4 home games, haven't won a game, but only scored 1 goal in 4 games. Like it's bizarre. It makes no sense. And it's like
That is really bizarre.
how can you not win at home, but then you score 4 goals away? And like they lose against like Minnesota and like who aren't a great team usually. And like we can't even beat them. We're playing the Sharks tomorrow. And honestly, I'll say this live right now. See this hat? If they lose to the Sharks tomorrow, I'm throwing this hat in the bin. I'm done. I'm not going to
Oh,
fucking pay attention for the rest of the season. I'm out. I'm going to cancel NHL TV. I'm fucking done. If they don't win tomorrow, I'm fucking out. Like the Sharks are probably the worst team in the entire league. So like
no.
if they can't
but,
beat them,
but
if they can't beat them at
it's
home,
like
man,
you
I'm done. Done.
it's like
Clip
you
it and
said,
ship
man,
it.
they could be shit, but
No, I think they haven't won a game in 14 games. So if
fuck.
they like literally their losing streak is coming over from the last season and they haven't won at all yet. So like
Until
yeah, until like until tomorrow night when they beat the Rangers. But yeah, honestly, like if it goes even even if it goes into OT, like I'm gonna be fucking furious. I'm gonna be furious, man. Honestly, oh
you're gonna grab the trash can and bring it next to you and you'll be like, don't fucking make me do it.
yeah. I'm gonna end my stream early tomorrow night and I'm gonna watch the game and I'm gonna be fucking raging if they lose this game. Andre says, I will remember this. I clipped it fit though. I will throw this hat out. I will. It's a little too big for me, so it kind of works out. Anyway, we're nearly live. We are over 20 minutes. I briefly spoke to you before we went live. You had said that you haven't seen the finale of Gen V, so we'll keep it spoiler free. And I think you're 2 episodes behind, so I really don't want to talk about much because a lot actually has happened in the last 2 episodes. I was quite pleasantly surprised at the end. It was felt a little rushed. Like the episode, I think, was only like 45 minutes, including the recap and including the credits at the end and stuff like that. So probably only about 40 minutes of the episode.
Mhm.
Um, it was okay. It was fine. They kind of had like a kind of let's assemble the Avengers moment, like where they all got together for a big fight at the end and stuff like that. And a couple of boys characters showed up as well. I won't mention who. But yeah, it was good. It was good, and without kind of ruining it too much, conversations that we have had in previous episodes of this podcast were correct in like theories and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
again, I think we were on the money from the kind of get go. And I don't know if don't know if you remember what I kind of said about the prediction that my girlfriend had last week, but that was
Oh.
pretty much. I don't know if you remember. If you don't, probably for the better. But just to let people who are listening know, she was actually on the money, like fully correct. So yeah, that was kind of while it was like cool that she got it completely right. I think a lot of people were on the right track as well. And I saw that the creator of the show, Kripke, who created Supernatural and stuff, he put out
Mhm.
a kind of thing saying that he was quite annoyed that people figured out the twist early. And
Mm.
it's kind of like, well, it was a little obvious, bro. But yeah, like I can kind of understand the anger because it's nice when you can kind of get everybody to be like, oh shit, no way, oh that's what's going on, like kind of tricking
Mhm.
everybody. But I think a lot of people copped onto it, and he was kind of a little disappointed in that. But I don't know, man. I feel like people are like getting a lot smarter when it comes to viewing stuff these days. I think it's probably
Mhm.
harder to trick people now than it was years ago. Like everyone's a fucking critic now, and you know, um, like I think people probably they probably overthink and over review stuff as well. As I say this while we're sitting on a podcast talking about stuff, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably harder to trick the normies now than it was in the past. Todd's popped in. What's up, dude? How are you? Was it better than the Peacemaker finale? Because that shit sucked balls. Um, that was a very very disappointing finale. Like again, we always talk about like the waves of the dips and flows, and
Yeah,
that
and it
show
should have.
it should
It
have
re-
ended better.
yeah, it should have had like such a hard climax
Yeah,
into a sink of them actually having that moment, and then maybe like the him getting sent to like a random prison, out in
yeah,
the middle of nowhere. But it was just very much of like a all the shit that was supposed to happen in episode 7, so it's like you're not giving us anything to like really chew on for like the last episode of Peacemaker, and it was like, what the hell, man?
I think they
Like,
kind of know that they're not doing a season 3 with the way it ended. I kind of feel like that, but then I kind of feel like opening the door and throwing them into Dinosaur World. I think that they thought that they were like creating fire, and it was going to be this epic fucking cliffhanger ending. But I just don't think people really give a shit. I think probably when they were in the writers' room, they were probably like, "Oh, this is going to be so cool. He's going to drop into an alternate universe, and we're going to hear like dinosaurs roaring, and then see you later." But
And
Yeah, I don't
maybe
know.
that would have been
It,
good, but like it
it's all
was
right.
just delivered in a weird way, you know?
It was. It
No,
was.
it's not a change of topic. Like it's the ending. It's kind of the finale. You know, we're talking about Gen V and whatnot. So like it makes sense to compare the two because like considering that, you know, whatever Finto had seen, he said that it was fine, but like, you know, compared to Peacemaker, it
Well,
was probably better at the least.
it's hard to say. So again, without spoiling anything for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, you're while you're sitting watching the last episode, um, you kind of figure out the master plan. And
Mhm,
when you hear it, you're kind of like, oh, okay, this could be really fucking cool because this is gonna. And we kind of spoke about this before, but what's good about this show is it very much kind of goes in parallel with the boys. It's not just a kind of cheap knockoff spin-off show like what a lot of the Disney Plus shows feel like, where it's
mhm,
kind of like a side quest. It's not really linked to anything. This very much is synced in with the main story. Like when you finish watching this episode, like the next episode of the boys feels like a natural progression to this storyline with the
mhm,
resistance and all this sort of stuff that they're building, you know. Um, but something happens in the last episode, and you're kind of thinking, "Oh shit, okay." You kind of start seeing where you think the final season of the boys is going to go, but then
mhm,
they kind of do a sidestep and they kind of end it not the way I was thinking that they were going to end it. And I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe not then." So that part I didn't really like too much. I felt like it was kind of building to something kind of epic, and they were going to have this show kind of end on a high, and then you'd be sitting there just going, "Fuck!" Like googling when's the next episode of the boys because you want to see what happens. Because
mhm.
again, without spoiling anything, Homelander is referenced a lot in the last episode, and the master plan involves Homelander. So you're kind of like, oh shit, okay, this is clearly going into the last season of The Boys.
Right.
So yeah, I'm kind of like, this is cool. And then something happens, and you're like, okay, well, now that can't happen. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. So then, I don't know. It was fine. It was fine. Like, I think the last couple of episodes of the show, I kind of watched them very close together, and I think it kind of flowed a lot better than having to wait weekly for them. And I think the show is good, definitely.
Mhm,
Is it better than Peacemaker? Probably, for the simple fact that it does have me just wanting to see the next episode of The Boys now. So I suppose it's keeping me interested in the universe, I suppose. Whereas now with DC, I'm kind of like, yes, I do want to know where Peacemaker is and how he gets back to the DCU, or if he ever does, or whatever. I'd be kind of sad if that was just the end of him and he just dies over there and we never hear from him again. And that wouldn't surprise me with James Gunn either if he just kind of said like, "Oh yeah, but he got eaten by a T Rex over there," you know. Oh
mhm.
well, and then we never see him again, or they open the door and there's just like his skull just there or something. And it's just like, oh shit, well, guess he didn't make it. I guess this place is too dangerous. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Like if they just did that in a future movie or some shit.
Maybe it's what everyone was like getting all like weirded out about the whole hardcore Peacemaker thing
Hmm.
with like the two actors kissing. This is James Gunn's way of like fucking touch my wife, will you? I'm gonna throw you in prison.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Look at you following the script. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, look, I think overall, I think the season was quite strong. It was good. Not as good as the boys, but I think it's as good. And I think it's impressive that I think like if I was telling somebody to watch The Boys for the first time, obviously I would say, watch the first 3 seasons of The Boys and then watch Gen V season 1, watch season 4 of, you do
Watch it in
need,
order.
yeah, you do need to, like, it's not one that you
Yeah.
can kind of just skip over, because when you come into The Boys season 4, there is some characters from Gen V in it, and there's story points that have happened that have affected the main universe. So it's important to watch it. It's not something like, it's not like WandaVision that you can kind of skip over. Well, I suppose that's probably a bad example because obviously she becomes Scarlet Witch. But there are definitely shows that have been on Disney Plus that you don't need to watch if you're watching the MCU for the first time. You know,
Right.
you can just skip over them. So yeah,
Also,
I think it's
what is it with writers not wanting to write like the actual names of the characters like superhero name? Like what is up with that? Like throughout the
in the boys.
entire time the well, not in the boys. In the boys it's kind of different because it's like a completely different, you know, mindset, but actually, you know what? That's what I really like about the boys is the fact that they constantly name them by what they are. You know, they call him Homelander. They don't call him John. They don't. they go to A Train. They don't call him, like, I don't remember A Train's name, but that's because he's A Train. They have
Yeah.
Maeve. They have, like, they have characters by their fucking names. Like, they're, Soldier Boy. Like, we
The
don't know
deep.
his the Deep. And I think I think they said his name before, but we don't
Yeah.
remember his name because, like, he's the Deep.
Yeah.
That's who he is. And then we go to Peacemaker and it's like, Chris, all Chris. It's like, come on, dude. Like, it's fucking Peacemaker. Like,
They do call him Peacemaker when he's in the suit, though, right? So I suppose it's kind of like Spider-Man. It'd be like when he's in the suit, he's Spider-Man, but when he's not in the suit, he's Peter.
Kinda. Like, I feel like they still call him Chris a little bit here and there. I think, like, Peacemaker is more so for the people that don't respect him.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, that is, and I agree with you there. Like, that is a little bit fair here and there, but, like, at the same time, it's like, if you know his name, just fucking, like, if you know the superhero name, just fucking say the superhero name. Like, remind us that we're watching Peacemaker, not the Chris show. Like, it's mind boggling, dude.
Yeah.
Like, even on, like, I would say, like, for villains, if villains knew the name of the character instead of, like, their superhero name, like, that makes more sense. It's because then it's like Peter Parker, and it's like, oh shit, he wasn't supposed to know that was Peter. Like, it's one of those things of, like, if the villain knows the name of the superhero, like the actual name of the superhero, then it's like, oh shit, his alias is gone. Like, he could be exposed. His family could get attacked. Like, that's more of, like, a thing of, like, oh my God. When it came to, like, Peacemaker, or, like, in some cases Batman, like, a lot of the times they'll, like, just, well, Batman's a different story because Batman is very much like, I think even with Catwoman would call him Bats, right?
Yeah.
Or is it
She would refer. Well, she would never call him Bruce when he's in the suit. It would always
really?
be. It would always be Bats. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, or the Bat and the Cat. Like, they kind of. She always calls him the Bat, and then she's the Cat. So they're a couple names like Bat and Cat.
Right. But, like, I can't remember the last time we heard the term, like, Iron Man when we were watching stuff. It was like Tony. Like, it's
Definitely for Tony, and even the whole joke with, like, Doctor Strange, where he's like, "Hey, I'm Steven," and he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm Peter," and it's like, "Oh, I'm Doctor Strange," and he's like, "Oh, we're using our made up names. I'm Spider-Man."
Yeah. and that was a good one. That was a really good joke, considering, like, that makes sense because I mean, technically speaking, Doctor Strange is
Doctor Strange
on the nose. Like, like, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But, like, we don't hear Star-Lord that often. We hear, like, Peter. Like, it's just, like, to me, it's like, that's very exhausting. It would just be nice to hear the names of the superheroes more often. And maybe that's a little nitpicky, but, like, I like shit like that.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But anyways, that was kind of a random rant.
Yeah, again, I've nothing really else I can say about Gen V now. Maybe next time when we sit down and you've watched it, we can get your views on it and maybe dip into it a little deeper. But for the moment, we can just leave it there.
Okay.
Are you watching anything at the moment yourself?
Just I'm just on Supernatural. I'm on season 11. I'm working on it. It's coming through.
Nice.
Like, it's going pretty well. Very interesting story so far. And how many years has it been since it's been out?
It ended in 2020, so they shot the last season during COVID, and they're quite pissed. They're quite pissed off about how it ended because it's not the ending that they wanted. Again, I won't go into details, but it's very well known if you're big in the fan base that that the last season was not really shot the way that they wanted to do it, and they kind of had to really, because they shot during the height of masks and restrictions and all this sort of shit, like skeleton crew photo like shoots and stuff like that. So it very much affected the end of the show, and I'm still rewatching it as well. I think I might be about to hit season 14, which I'm watching these episodes. A lot of these episodes I'm watching for the first time since I originally saw them when they aired. So I'm, like, forgetting some of the stories, but then I'm kind of, like, remembering stuff as well. And some of it's fine, but then some of it's just not great at all. And it's easier if you sit down and watch two or three of them. But when you're watching one every now and again, it's kind of like, oh god, man, okay, I can see it kind of like dipping a little bit in quality and then coming back up. Um, but yeah, like it's I think it's well worth, especially if you've never seen it before, it's well worth sticking with it till the end. And I fully believe that they will bring it back and it will get a revival series, whether it's on like HBO or Netflix or something like that. Like someone will pick it up and
Mhm.
they'll do like a kind of 10 episode special or something, or maybe a movie or something, and it'll be fucking epic. Like getting the boys
Oh
back
yeah.
together will just be so good. I love the show, man. It's one of my favorite shows ever. Just started watching Suits, pretty great show. I loved the first season of Suits, man. So good. Not to put you off the show or anything, but it does again start dipping in quality the more you watch it. And I never even finished the show. I think I went to maybe season 5 or 6, and it started getting a bit loopy for me. And I was just like, oh, this is not even fun anymore. But
Mhm.
the character of Mike Ross at the start of the show is fucking brilliant. Like, he's a genius, and he got expelled, so he never actually sat the bar, and he's not can officially never joined the firm, but they hire him anyway. And there's the whole kind of, will they catch out? Will they catch him? Will he be figured out that he never graduated college and stuff, and doesn't have his degree? But he's like, I can sit the bar, I can answer the questions, and like, he basically. I don't know, have you seen Suits?
No, no,
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm kind of ruining the fucking story for you.
no,
It is great. It
no.
is a
Like
great
I'm.
show to watch.
It was never on the radar. I haven't really thought about checking it out. I heard of it vaguely, but it's not really anything that I'm currently interested in. I never really got into the live shows really. Like I just barely dipped my toes in a couple things here and there. Like I know I did Breaking Bad like years after it already had come out.
Yeah, you're not watching network TV as it's airing, sort of thing.
No, but like the ones that I did like when as they were coming along was Dexter.
Dexter was
Um
great, man. I only
Dexter
rewatched.
was fantastic.
I only finished. Well, sorry, I didn't finish a rewatch of it. I think I watched up to season 6, and then
Mhm.
it kind of fell off. Like again, the first 4 seasons of Dexter are some of my favorite episodes of TV ever made. I love the first 4 seasons of Dexter. It's so incredible. And then season 5 really pissed me off when they brought in Lumen, and he starts teaching another girl how to be a killer, and I'm just like, this is not Dexter. He's not like this. Like, you know what I mean? He's very secretive, and the whole show he doesn't really want to, like, the only people that he really kind of gets in close with are his actual friends. Like, he doesn't just bring on randomers and start teaching them the code and stuff. I just thought it got ridiculous. And then season 6 was a little better. It was okay. And if I remember correctly, again, I've only watched season 7 and 8 like maybe one time, but I think season 7 was okay because they kind of start reopening the Bay Harbor Butcher case and stuff. And so
Mhm.
it's kind of cool because it ropes back into some of the best episodes. But then they do a whole stupid storyline where Deb finds out and all, and like she starts falling in love with Dexter and all. I was just like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, it's just so stupid.
Y-
They're brother and sister, like, And I'm just like,
Yeah,
this
they
is weird.
they were really trying to find a way out through that whole situation, and it seemed like
Did,
they just didn't know how to write him into like an ending.
did
Um
you did you know? And again, I've never read the book, so I don't know how close it all follows the books. Maybe that all happens in the books. I don't know. But did you know in real life that the two of them were married and then they got
yeah.
actually divorced still while they were on the show? So they like literally went through an entire relationship and marriage while they were on the show, and then still had to pretend to be brother and sister and love each other while they're on the show. And then to be cruel at the very end, they throw in a love affair between them. I was like, this is fucking cruel. And then Michael C.
Yeah.
Hall gets cancer as well, like in season 5. Like he had such a tough time at that show. Like I think it makes it even better. It's crazy, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
fucking incredible show,
Yeah.
incredible. Todd,
Um
I hope you enjoy Suits though, man. It's the first couple of seasons are fantastic, so good. Um,
Yeah, but I would say like I'm not really like too much of a network television kind of person, but I do see like the merit in it. Being brought into like a few shows that I wouldn't have watched unless I was recommended.
mm,
Because it's not like that kind of stuff doesn't really hit my radar the same way certain other things like hit, like if you were to tell me to watch movies, I'd probably be more of a moviegoer.
mm,
I like live action movies, but once anime became like such a big thing here in the West, like it's
You were
just
in.
kind of like, yeah, like hit the market. There was so many things to check out, so many different storylines to really like jump through and to kind of sink your toes in. And it's a
Mm.
completely different change of pace from like what we usually see on network television, which is just such a breath of fresh air. Like all their
But
stories are just like they're so engaging too. Like everything that happens is just so dramatic and like and wonderful, sad, anger, like just scary, angry. Like you get all the emotions that are baked in. It's like it's like anime has just figured out a way to like cement everything that you want.
yeah,
Um, and they have something for everybody. They have rom-coms, they have blood and gore, they have horror shows, they have um psychological horror, they have murder mysteries, they have all these different kinds of things. And um they put like little spins here and there on it, and like the character designs are just fantastic. So like I usually am just gravitating towards that. But before that, it was just mainly movies. Like if I really had to check out stuff. But even before that was just video games. So
yeah,
like I was more of a gamer growing up. I didn't really like think to watch anything in particular. I didn't have anything that I wanted to like put my time into. Um I know that when Breaking Bad came out, when Game of Thrones came out and whatnot, like those
you weren't.
were
You weren't in it.
they were global sensations. My friends wanted to all check them out, but like my friends, like I love my friends, but they were really cringe about it.
Mm.
It was really cringe. Love them, but they were cringe. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna steer clear of this until like it dies down, and then maybe I'll come back and check it out. And then
Yeah, yeah,
eventually I went back to Game of Thrones, watched the whole thing, was able to just binge it through, and then realized like why people were upset at the
yeah,
last couple of seasons. And
yeah, yeah.
went through Breaking Bad, understood why the show was so like was so
Incredible. It
fantastic.
is. It's incredible. It's one of the rare shows as well that just gets better each season. And
Mhm.
there's not very many shows that you can say that about. Like that is like one of the greatest shows of all time. I would have said Game of Thrones up until the end of season 6, and then it just falls off a cliff. But like that show as well for the first 6 years was like it was getting better and better each season, and it was just global phenomenon, like you said. Um, The Sopranos as well is one that just keeps getting better and better the more you watch it, and
Mhm.
even going into the last season, like again, you're watching it for 7 years. I was watching that pretty much live for the whole time, and you're 7 years deep into it, and you're just like, this is fucking amazing. Like I just never want it to end, and then it does, and you're
Well,
so sad. But
but like
yeah,
but even then watching like The Sopranos, like after that whole sensation went on, just giving it time to relax and then going through the whole thing itself, it was so enjoyable to just go
mm,
through each season and just see how things turn out and just not have to wait on it. And the only time like the only time that I'm like not in that situation is anime. Like it's
yeah,
literally like I will wait week by week and just get each
your little
episode
feeds,
in.
yeah, your little bits,
But like and like it's the same, but that's the feeling that I get from there. As, like that you have when you were watching The Sopranos or Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad. It's like that sensation. Like even with Dexter, like I did Dexter on a week to week basis, and that was
yeah.
awesome.
It is. It is. I think this podcast will probably have you watching some shows, so you might not miss the next global thing because we'll probably be watching it to talk about it here. So if you didn't do this podcast, you might have missed some great shit that we covered together. And
Oh yeah.
um, like for me as a kid, like I know you say gaming was like your thing, and it was for me as well. But I loved cinema as well. I've been a movie buff like for my whole life. Like I got introduced to Star Wars when I was like 6 years old and was just obsessed and just watched it over and over and over again. And then like the prequels came out and you were watching it on the big screen, and then you'd buy it on DVD or VHS and you'd be watching it over and over again. And that was like for me, like I didn't start watching TV until like high school, I think, like properly. I obviously watched all the Nickelodeon shit now when I was a kid, like, but I didn't have something to kind of religiously follow like I did Star Wars and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, Whereas like when stuff like Prison Break was like one of the first like kind of big shows that I can remember, like when that first started airing, that
That's
was
one I
one.
wanted to check out. That's
Oh,
one I forgot to check out.
dude.
Like that. Like
I'll
I
tell you
watched. I
now.
look.
I'll tell you now. Watch the first 2 seasons. It
Okay.
is actually brilliant. The first, and I always say this, but the show should have ended at the end of season 2. But they went on and they made it stupid and classic cable TV style shit. They just keep making more episodes because people want to watch it because it's popular. And then they don't have good writers. There's nothing to work off, and it just plummets in quality. And then it gets cancelled because it's like everyone's like, oh, this is shit now. And it gets ridiculous. But the first 2 seasons were definitely planned. They were written perfectly, and it was 10 out of 10. It was so good. And I remember being maybe 15 or 16 when that show was airing, and I had just started getting into like downloading stuff. So
Mhm.
over here, like, it's actually funny. Like, nowadays, this is not a problem to anybody growing up in this current generation. But when I was a kid and when I was in school, like, movies got released in like America maybe 6 months before they got released here in Ireland. Like, we were so far behind on everything. Like, an episode, like the first episode of Prison Break aired on Irish TV, and I think there was maybe like 5 episodes left of season 1 in
Mhm.
America. So I had already seen it all. And like, people were like, "Oh, this Prison Break show is great," and I was like, "I'm on episode like 19, guys. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's been on for 19 weeks already in America." So I started buying stacks and stacks of like DVD-ors and shit, and I started burning the show, and I was making my own menus and everything. Like, I was doing it up like a proper DVD and just giving it out to
That's
my
sick.
friends in school. And like, people were like, "Oh, bro, can you make me one? Can you make me one?" And I had like literally I had an old PC that had 2 disk drives, and I was like copying like the whole discs, and I wasn't selling them. I was just giving them to my friends, and they were then passing them around to their friends. Like, I wasn't making money off it or anything, but it was just that we had to do that back then because the gap was just so far. It was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, if you were on the internet back in those days, like, I'm talking like 2006, 2007, like,
Mhm.
you'd be seeing like potential spoilers for shows that had aired like months ago. You know what I mean? So like, they'd be talking about the latest episode of Breaking Bad, or it's not Breaking Bad, sorry, of like Prison Break, for example, and they'd be months behind over here. Like, it was crazy. So I was just like, I can't wait for the Irish TV to catch up. So I had to take it into my own hands, and I was a legend in school for it because everyone was just like, "Oh my god, you have all the episodes." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, here you go." It's like,
That's
"Oh,
great.
grab it off Paul or Sean." Like, these guys all have it. Like, they'll just give it to you when they're finished watching it. And yeah, it was just so funny, man. Like, I was a
Wait, like
legend. I
Sean
was a
watches
legend in school.
movies? Is that what?
No, no, different. Not that.
Oh,
Not
okay.
him.
I was like, wait a minute.
Different guy. Imagine, yeah. Origin stories, the lore expanding. Now, what's funny though is I found out because, again, I was talking to him in DMs before, and I realized he only lives like 5 minutes down the road from me. Was I telling you that before? I've never met the guy in real life,
No,
but
actually, I
I
don't recall that.
I found out he only lives like 5 minutes away from me, and he probably lives like a 2-minute walk from where I went to high school. So I haven't asked him this question, but we probably went to the same high school, but just in different years, which is
Maybe you
hilarious.
were at the same bar at one point. Didn't even know
Very,
it.
very possible. Very, very, very possible. We probably sat in the same like cinema screens from time to time because, again, if like going to like back when I used to go to like Infinity War night one, like I'd be there at midnight and everything. Like, I'm sure he was as well, and I'm sure we probably have sat in the same theater, like watching the same movie as from time to time. Like, yeah, I'd be shocked if that didn't happen, to be honest. Because, again, because we live so close, we probably were going to the same cinemas as well, So
Mhm.
I'd say we were definitely standing in the same queue, waiting for food to go to the same film at some point. I'd be shocked if we weren't. But yeah, that's funny. Small world, man. Small world. But yeah,
Quick question. Quick question.
yeah,
Do you do beers?
in the theater.
Well, I know that, like, well, just in general, like, do you? I never thought to ask you. Do you drink
Do I
beer?
drink? Yeah, 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 for sure. But
I
I
was.
don't really like casually drink much anymore. I did when I was like younger. Like, he'd go out and
Oh, okay.
like when I was in my early 20s, like, he'd go out on Friday and get absolutely hammered. Like, we'd go out and get pissed and go to a club and do all the whole lot, and you'd come home the next day in bits. But now I don't really drink at all. Like, I'm not opposed to drinking, but I don't like. Some people will like crack a few cans at home and watch TV or whatever. I'm not into drinking at home really, unless if my missus is like, "Oh, we're gonna watch a movie tonight, maybe we'll get a few beers." I would never be opposed to doing it, but I don't think of doing it myself. I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm gonna go to the liquor store and get some fucking drinks. I'm not
You're like
really thinking
pregame.
like, yeah, I'm not, I'm not I never think like that. It's very rare that I do. Like sometimes when I'm doing community nights over on Twitch on Fridays, I might be like, actually, I'm gonna crack a few beers with the gang tonight and have a few drinks while I'm streaming. That'd be the gist of it now, really. But sometimes my IRL friend group might be like, guys, we need to get together soon. We haven't seen each other in months, and we'll arrange to meet up in a pub or something in the city center, and we'll
Oh,
go
that's
drinking for
cool.
a few hours and stuff like. But yeah, like so, and that is fun. I don't mind doing that, but sure, bro. When I was in my early 20s, it was like every Friday, no matter what, you were out drinking, fucking doing everything under the sun, and just you'd be out till Sunday sometimes. Like I'd be like staying over in friends' houses in the city, and we'd just be on it just the whole weekend. Like it was just thinking about it now is, oh god, I'm so happy I'm out of it now, because I just the thoughts of it.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to. I think I tried to get into the scene with that with my friends because like my friends like were way more outgoing than I was.
Mm,
And whenever they invited me to go do something, I tried my best to be available. A lot of the
yeah,
times I wasn't because I was either working or I was trying to like keep up with my schoolwork.
yeah,
Um, and like, but when I went, I just felt like I was out of my element unless I had not a beer, but a mixed drink. I would prefer like
yeah,
cocktails. So like
yeah,
and it's just so like I always thought it was kind of interesting. Like, the majority of my friends, drank beers. The only one that I actually really had a good time like with in terms of like drinking was like one of my other friends, like his name was Daniel, and he was the only guy who was like, I only do cocktails, and I'm like, I'm gonna drink with you.
hell yeah, dude, that's great. The only thing that I don't really drink is like I don't like wine, so or like champagne. So like I might have a glass of champagne if I'm at a wedding or something, and you have to do a toast. I'll drink it. I'll drink a glass of champagne, but it feels like fucking. It tastes like vinegar to me. Like I really don't like it. I'm just not into it at all. But yeah, I'll be like sculling beers and drinking
Dude, there
whiskey and vodka and all sorts. Doing like when we used to go out, like we'd be like if I was going out when I was in like my early 20s, like we'd start by like drinking 6 cans in the house, and then you get the bus into town, and you'd be drinking like a bottle of vodka or something, or a bottle of whiskey like on the bus
that's
going into town. And you hit the club because you'd want to get because the clubs used to be so expensive for us when we were younger. We didn't have any
you wanted
money,
to
so you're
pregame
getting as
before you get in
yeah,
there.
exactly. You're getting as greased up as you can get before you get there. And then when you pay into the place and it's like, $10 a drink, and you're kind of like, fuck, okay, I can't drink too many here. So you're trying to get as drunk as you can, but not get too drunk because then the bouncers won't let you in. So
Right.
there's a very happy medium there. But yeah, we used to go out on Fridays and or like even like when I was in my early 20s and I started kind of working full time, like properly, we'd go out like straight after work. Like people would just like go from like the office where I worked, there was a pub right across the road. So we'd all
Nice.
finish up on a Friday and just walk across the road and just get hammered in the pub. Like, so that used to just be Fridays for us. Like, so yeah.
Well, and I like the one thing I do like about going to bars and whatnot is the food. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
yeah, if you got some good food, like that's always a plus for me because like I'm not a heavy drinker. I really like I'm very much a lightweight. So like if I have a couple mixed drinks, like that's kind of where I'm at. And so like then I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'll just have something to eat now. Like
Yeah. You need to bit of soakage, as we call it.
yeah.
um I actually the last time I was out with my friends in a pub, we actually went out because we're all dads now, so it's kind of like let's meet up early and try and get home early because we all
Mhm.
know that we have to wake up the next morning with babies and stuff. So it's kind of like we can't really be going out till like 3 o'clock in the morning anymore. So we're kind of meeting up at 6 p.m. and having a few drinks and then trying to get the last bus home, sort of thing. And the last pub that I went to, I got in there a little late, and the guys were all drinking pints, and one of the lads was eating a pizza at the desk, and I was like, where the fuck did you get that? And he's like, dude, these guys will go out and get you a pizza. They have the menu here, and you just tell them what you
What?
want, and one of the bartenders will run out, get the pizza, and bring it back to you. And I was like, holy shit! So I ended up getting a pizza as well, and I'm sitting there drinking a few beers, eating a pizza. I was like, this is heaven. I was like, this is
Yeah.
epic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that was the last time I was in the pub. So yeah, they're
Hell
evolving
yeah,
over
dude.
here anyway. Yeah, it was funny. Um, what did I want to say? I wanted to talk about a few things. Do you watch much horror like in October? Like would it
You
that
know
be a
what?
thing? Like do you try
Y-
or
I I just well, like I want to, but there's not very many people that like actually actively want to watch with me. So it's
does
like
your
very
does your
hard.
lady like horror now?
Not really. She's not really kind of a gore person, like a blood and gore kind of person. Like she kind of like shies away from it, if anything. Like for me, like I love that shit. Like if all of a sudden the chest is being ripped open and they're like
Yeah, yeah,
pulling your guts out and whatnot, I'm all for it.
yeah. Would you be into like the ghosts and shit and like
Oh
supernatural stuff?
yeah, like dude, what's funny is like I started like watching like Ghost Adventures and watched Ghost Facers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like stuff
I've
like
got a
that.
good one for you to watch. The Haunting of House Hill. It's on Netflix. It's a Mike
Okay.
Flanagan show, and I'm in the middle of. I watched it when it first aired, and I've been like looking because Halloween. Like I really enjoy Halloween. Like I love the whole vibe of Halloween. My kids love Halloween. Like my son's obsessed with pumpkins and shit, and he loves dressing up and all this sort of stuff. So like Halloween for me has always been a thing, but now even more so with the kids it's an event. Like obviously I'm not watching horror films with my kid, but at night, like me and my missus like to kind of watch scary stuff and we're always kind of looking for like new movies to try and freak us out and stuff. And I'm always like, oh, I haven't been like properly scared at a film in a long time. So I'm always kind of trying to find that like proper movie that's gonna scare the shit out of me. Ones that like stick in your head and you're kind of like they kind of stick with you after the film. Like they're the ones that are the best. Like, and you're kind of turning all the lights off, locking up the house, and you're kind of like a little paranoid that someone might be watching you or something. Like that's the kind of shit that I love because I'm just like, fuck, this movie's that good that it's sticking with me in the real world. And
Did you ever check out Hereditary?
yeah, I did. And I actually laughed that you bring this up because my missus only literally said this to me 10 minutes before I came up here to start the podcast. But she's like, did we ever watch Hereditary? And I was like, yeah, we did. And you fell asleep. And
Ah,
she was like, yeah, I thought we did. And it was shit, right? And I was like, yeah, I didn't like it really at all, right? Like, again, it was fine. It was like standard horror movie for me. Like, it was one and done, never watch it again. Don't really think about it at all. But I've been, over the last like week or two, I've been doing a lot of research, going through like different like websites, like top horror movies of all time and stuff. And I'm like trying to find like movies that I haven't seen that are very highly acclaimed films that I'm like, okay, what have I missed here in the genre? And Hereditary is always really high up in people's lists. Like I think Variety did a thing and it was like top five easily, like top three even. And like it's been in like IMDb top scariest movies of all time lists and stuff. And it's like first, second, third. Like it's all over the place, like really high up. And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like the movie didn't scare me once, and the concept of the movie is not even that scary at all. Like I would consider the likes of like the first Conjuring movie and the second one like way scarier than Hereditary, like way scarier. And
oh,
even like this show that I'm watching now, the one that I just recommended to you, I think that's way scarier than it as well. And that's a TV
yeah.
show.
Well, like to me, I think that when it comes to Hereditary, like I wasn't asking you because I was thinking it was the greatest or anything. I was asking you because I was wondering if you had seen it.
Yeah.
It was more so just the thought of like, if you thought it was bad, like then I understand because like it's not really like the premise of it and the way that it start, like the way that they kind of continue forward from the story as it goes along is very odd. But it's a very much an emotional or psychological horror if you think about it.
Mhm.
Like it's not,
Yeah.
there's a couple of like jump scares that they do here and there, but like I think it's more rooted in the fact that it was like a very psychological or emotional kind of horror because like for people, like it's been out for a while. For the people that don't know, like the one of the characters basically dies along the way because like their brother wasn't paying attention to the road and they hit like the side pole, their head came clean off, and it just created this like like spiral down with the family and whatnot, and then shit just started going fucking crazy, and just like the mother was starting to lose her shit. And it was all based on like, the story was based on the fact that like that little girl wasn't supposed to die. It was supposed to be like some other person that's supposed to die or some other thing. And so they, it was kind of a cool story in terms of like, it wasn't supposed to be her, it was supposed to be you kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of cool. Like, it like it kind of drove forward with that. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Um, I think I did think it was kind of funny. Like there were moments where like I think there a scene where like the mother was like on the roof or something, or she's like in the ceiling and she's like in a spider form or something like that.
I think so. Again, I only watched it once and I
Th-
don't really remember. The
that
funny
stuff makes me laugh.
The only thing the funniest thing I find about that movie is like, didn't they the main actress in the movie like they turned her into a meme by like the screaming face that she makes like they were like people were editing in like scalding hot pieces of pizza and stuff and it's like her
Oh
screaming
yeah.
because she burned her mouth and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that's what made me want to watch the film because I was like I want to see this movie now because it's just become a meme, um but yeah, like look, we're recording this on the 22nd of October. I'm like very much in Halloween mode at the moment and I'm trying to like watch as much scary shit as I can. Like we finished watching the Monster series, the Ed Gein story with Charlie
Mhm.
Hunnam, fucking fantastic. But like they're talking about like Texas Chainsaw, and they're talking about like he was an inspiration for the creation of Psycho and the Alfred Hitchcock film, and like which started the entire genre of horror, like and slashers and all that sort of stuff. Like so, I'm kind of like fuck, I want to watch some new scary movies that like I haven't seen before, and I've been just like trying to find like good movies to watch, and none of them are really jumping out at me. And the missus was like, "Oh, will we just rewatch Hill House?" And I was like, "I kind of want to watch new stuff," but like I was like, "If you really want to watch it, let's watch it." And I had only seen it when it first aired, which was, I think was back in like 2018. Hadn't watched it again, and I'm watching it like we watched the first episode. And I was like, "God, I forgot how good the show was. It's so well made. It's so well written." The jump scares are actually pretty scary. The ghosts and stuff in it are really freaky. It's like watching a proper horror film, but it goes on for like 10 episodes. So you're watching like 10 hours of a horror movie. So you're really invested in all the characters and everything. And they do these like amazing transitions of like going into the past and the present and stuff. And like they'll like you'll be watching the story in the present and someone will open the door and it's like their child self comes through the door and it's like a proper transition into the past and all. Like it's just really well made, like really slick. And just all the acting in it is incredible and it's just really, really fucking phenomenal. So yeah, if you're looking for something to watch, Haunting of Hill House, really, really good. And then if you like that show, your man Mike Flanagan had a deal with Netflix for like 5 years or something, and every year he had a new show that came out around this time, and so he has like a bit of a kind of catalog of shows on Netflix,
Mhm.
um, which some of them aren't as good as others, but um. Some of them are really, really good. Like the first two or three shows were great, and there was a kind of bit of a drop off towards the end. But I can't remember which show was the worst. I think it was the Bly Manor one. It was called. That one wasn't the best, but the rest of them were really, really good. And
Mhm.
the dude who plays Cipher in Gen V, he's in one of the shows called Midnight Mass, and he plays this like priest in it, and it's in like a small kind of town on a little island or whatever. And then like it turns into it's not they're not, like all of his shows are kind of different as well, which is really cool. Like because that one's kind of got a bit of a kind of monstery vibe and a vampire vibe to it and all, and it's very different to the kind of haunted house stories and stuff. So he's got the writing skills that he can kind of just it's not just the same stuff over and over again. And fun fact as well, he's actually writing the script for the Clayface movie, which is going to be like a rated R horror film in DC, and it's going to be written by him. So I'm very excited to see what he comes up with in the superhero kind of world. It's good. It's going to be quite scary. Like it's going to be good. So yeah,
Yeah, that'll be pretty sick.
yeah, I highly
Um,
recommend that to anybody who's listening to us.
so for the most part, I would say that a lot of people, when they recommend horror movies, I, for one, am hoping that they recommend things that are, let me kind of pull that back a little bit and explain like what I'm about to say. When it comes to horror, not very many people want to give you things that are like actually horrifying.
Mm,
It's not like this type of there's two different types of horror in my opinion. There's the horror of things like psychological, emotional, things that just kind of like pop out and are just unnatural and make you feel so fucking uncomfortable that
mm,
it's horrifying.
yeah,
And I would say that the majority of the population doesn't prefer that as much as they used to. It is now on the line, in my opinion, of what I call scare tactics
yeah,
and
yeah.
what
Jump
and
scares and stuff and
jump scares,
cheap tricks.
random, yeah, cheap acts of like, oh, did that scare you?
Yeah,
Like I like horror when it's like fucking just like mind blowing. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? There's like, what the
twisted
hell
stuff.
is like, yeah, all these different crazy things. And I don't know if you ever watched. It's like an older series. It was called Masters of Horror.
No, never saw it.
You should look it up. It's kind of old. It's
Mhm.
called Masters of Horror, and then they do it by like whichever horror writers that they base it on. So like
Okay.
they'll have different writers of like different stories, and then
Yeah.
they bring them to life, like putting them in live action and doing the story like live.
Okay.
And it's so fucking cool. Like different, I don't remember the names of the masters so far, like, but I do recall one story called Imprint,
Mhm.
which was so fucking weird. It was the weirdest thing ever, dude, because it's like it's this lady who like, you find out that she had a twin or something, and the twin's like on the back of her head but covered in the hair.
Oh
And
god.
it's just like it's so fucking creepy and horrifying. Like I love stuff like that because it's like, oh my god, like just the reveal of that is so
Yeah.
fucking horrifying.
Oh god.
I
Yeah.
love stuff like that.
So you're into the more kind of gory, like kind of just horrific
Like,
stuff rather than the kind of spooky and psychological.
well, spooky's fun too because spooky can also be like horrifying in a way. Like it fucks with your head. It
Yeah.
makes you think that something's there when it's actually not. It's so like
Yeah.
psychologically like mind blowing. It's like we could watch a scary movie, like you and I would watch a scary movie, and then like late at night we start hearing shit and we're like, I don't recall the house settling that often. It's like what?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's those moments are really cool. I like movies that can do that make you feel so scared of your own safety.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 for sure. For sure. I remember being younger, like again, I probably started watching horror way too young in life. Like I saw the original Exorcist when I was like 10 years old, and that like fucked me up. Like, I actually like I remember we were around at a friend's house and his parents both worked and we'd have the house to ourselves and we used to just crack through his DVD collection and we'd be thrown on shit we definitely shouldn't have been watching. And I remember after watching The Exorcist, like I was like scarred by that film and like ran home and I was just like, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah.
And then like watching stuff like The Ring and stuff and probably being a bit too young to watch shit like that. And just again, like, when people died in that film, like they became like disfigured and stuff. And like that was real kind of like jarring to watch at a young age. And
Hmm.
but yeah, I love the genre, like, so it's probably why I love it so much is because I probably did get the shit scared out of me when I was younger. And now it's kind of like trying to chase that high nearly. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, for sure. I'm not madly into the gory stuff. Like I don't mind watching it. But I would prefer more kind of psychological thriller slash kind of spooky horror, like ghosts and hauntings and exorcisms and that sort of stuff, like the demonic sort of style of it, rather than like like movies like Wrong Turn where there's like people like gutting people alive and stuff like that. Like I don't mind watching stuff like
Oh
that, but
yeah.
I'm more so try to go the other way with it. Whereas I know
Yeah, like
people watch
Hostel
like
or
yeah,
Saw.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like Saw's
Yeah.
cool. And I like the twists and Saw and all were really cool. But like I'm not going to Saw to like get giddy about seeing people getting their heads torn off and stuff, like whereas some people live for that stuff. Like I remember watching a film, like a few of my friends were like big metal heads and kind of a little weird and now that I think about it later in life, but like they were mad into watching like like Rob Zombie movies and like Devil's Rejects and stuff like that, like and just like kind of twisted stuff and like just stuff that just is like humans just being evil rather than actual like supernatural things. Like, I prefer the supernatural side of things, ghosts and demons and all that sort of stuff. Whereas I'm not as much of a big fan of like people just being evil and like being gory and gruesome and killing people and
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Yeah.
these Terrifier movies, for example. Like I've never watched them because I just know I've seen clips and I'm like, this is just gore like whacked up to 100 for like shock factor, and it's too much for me. Like I'm just like, that's not kind of the movie that I like. Like I prefer to be watching like Conjuring and Sinister and that sort of stuff. Like that's the kind of way I go with it. But
Yeah.
each to their own. If that's what you like to watch, if you like to watch people like clowns kind of literally tearing people's guts out and stuff, cool. That's that's that movies you like. That's cool. It's I'm not paying to go to the cinema to see that sort of thing, but I have in the
Yeah.
past. I definitely have in the past. Like I saw a lot of I saw I think I saw Hostel on the big screen. I definitely saw a lot of the Saw movies on the big screen and all as well. So
Yeah, I would say those are more on like the gross factor. Like
yeah,
and
yeah,
pers- pers- personally, I'm not looking for gross factor. I'm looking for like twists. I'm looking for
Yeah,
like big plot twists, but like that are slowly eked out.
yeah,
Kind of like I told you about the whole like second head on the back of the thing. It had nothing to do with like clawing out their eyes or anything or the such, but it was just like this weird. It's so weird. It's fucking weird and it's scary kind of thing. Like it's horrifying in that
no,
sense.
yeah,
But like, yeah, no, I'm on the same page as you. I'm not really looking out and going like, yeah, I want to see someone just like pull out someone's intestines and throw it on the frying pan and cook it. Like I don't
yeah.
need that. Like
But then, like, obviously, there's great examples of, like, Texas Chainsaw and stuff is like phenomenal, like, and
yeah,
it's very gory. And even watching that Ed Gein story, like, some of the stuff in that show, like, I was had my hands, like, I was literally watching it like this. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, it's some of the absolutely depraved, like, disgusting shit he was doing, like, like skinning people alive and making furniture with their skin and all.
oh
And
yeah,
yeah, like that's fucked up. But the reason why I like that is because it was a true story and that actually happened. Like, and that's kind of maybe that makes it scarier because it was real, whereas stuff like about like deformed hillbillies in the woods that are hunting people down and eating them and all. I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, and that maybe that happens too. I don't know, but I'd hope not. But yeah, it's just
did
not something I
you
really dive towards.
did you ever check out Red State?
um I don't think so. I know the movie you're talking about, but I don't think I
Yeah,
ever
from
watched.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, yeah,
It
I like Kevin. So
Dude, check it out. It's
Red State, did you say?
yeah, it's like it's not so much horror, it's more like, but it has some kind of horror aspects in terms of like this shit just goes wrong.
Mhm.
But like it's more so like it kind of swaps from like horror to thriller,
Yeah,
but it's really good. Like the way it turns out and whatnot.
cool.
I don't want to say too much because like the whole premise is kind of like the lead into like what actually happens, and it's really like a really cool situation. I think it's like the way that Kevin Smith explained it was like he wanted to make it so that every time you think you're going in the right direction, he turns left. And
Yeah, yeah,
then he's like, okay, well, he's gonna go left again, right? And he's like, no, he's gonna go right. And it's
yeah,
like he throws you off guard. Everything that happened in that movie was so well placed that you didn't expect, like just like all of a sudden this happens and it's like, oh shit, I didn't know this was gonna happen. Like it was like one of those moments.
yeah.
Like it just constantly throws you in a new loop and makes you think that something's gonna happen a certain way, but it actually doesn't. Like it's so fucking good, dude.
That's cool.
Highly
I like
recommend
that.
it.
I like that. Have you seen any good movies lately? Like, have you gone to the theater? What's the last
Um,
thing you saw in the theater? Do you
oh
remember?
my god. I don't remember the last thing. Oh, the last thing I saw I think was Demon Slayer, wasn't it?
I saw Demon Slayer. The last movie I saw was The Smashing Machine, the MMA one with The Rock, which for some reason is like one of the worst performing movies of all time. But the movie's actually really good. No one just went to see it, which I think will be studied in years to come. Like, I just don't understand. I remember when I went to see it, and I was like, okay, it's like scoring like a 7 out of 10, and I was like, cool, yeah, great. And like I'm a big MMA fan, so I knew what I was going into. But
Mm,
a lot of people obviously don't know the character, and maybe they're seeing that it's like kind of like an indie movie or whatever, so they don't want to go see it. And I was looking on IMDb and I was like, Jesus, the budget's 40 million. Like they should make that in day one, I would think, globally, right? Like 40 million globally. I was watching it for like 2 weeks and it barely broke 20. I don't even think it's broke 20 yet. I'm gonna check it right
oh
now.
jeez.
But man, I just don't understand. Like I was looking at the opening weekend in the States was like something like 6 million in the opening week, the entire opening weekend. Um, and I was like, that can't be right. Like, I've never seen a movie like make so little money in my life.
Hmm.
And then I was like, then I saw that the global number came out after weekend one, and it was like 3 million globally. And I was like, what? I was like, that sounds impossible. And I'm looking at it right now, and even it came out on the 5th of October, so it's been out for what, 18, 17 days or something. 18.5 million globally.
Oh, weird.
It's so bizarre, man. I've never seen something like perform so bad in the box office in my life. It doesn't make any sense. Like, and it's got The Rock in it, and I know some people are sick of him, but it's his best, probably one of his best performances ever, if not his best. Emily Blunt's in it. She's fucking incredible in the movie. There's an MMA fighter, Ryan Bader, who was like really big when I started watching MMA, like in like 2012, 2013. And he was like, he has a predominant role in the film. Like it's actually crazy. I didn't think he could act at all. He plays like Mark Coleman, who's like one of the biggest MMA legends of all time, and like he's him in the movie for like the whole thing. And I thought he was going to just do a cameo as himself, but he's actually has a proper role, and he's like the Rock's best friend in the film. I'm like, holy shit! I was like, I didn't think this guy could act at all. And they like went to the hassle of like properly rebuilding some of the stadiums and stuff like that. Like it's so well done, and the dedication and thought that went into the film is phenomenal. Maybe it'll do better when it gets released digitally. A lot of people will just check it out at home, and it'll probably turn into a bit of a smash hit then. But at the moment, it's just it'll be studied, man. In my opinion, like it's shocking how bad it did. I don't understand it. Um, I recently watched as well, like kind of in my horror vibes, like looking for stuff that I haven't seen before. I never watched that film, The Black Phone, with Ethan Hawke,
Mhm.
and it came out a couple of years ago. But there's a new one I think that's just come out, and it might be in theaters at the moment. But they like put his skin in Fortnite and everything. So I was like, I'm gonna watch this movie and see what the first one's all about. And it was quite good. Like it was kind of like kids getting kidnapped and people don't know where they're going and all this sort of stuff. So and like it's kind of cool, but it's very much grounded in reality. But at the same time, there is a kind of mystical kind of thing going on as well. Like there's this random phone, like this kid's being held captive in a basement and missing for weeks or whatever. And there's this like phone that rings on the wall, but it's not connected to anything. And when he like answers the phone, he's like talking to people that like don't exist, and or it's like previous victims that have died and all this stuff. So like while it's in reality, it's kind of not at the same time, but it's about this kid trying to like break out of the room and get free and stuff. And it's weird, man. It's a weird film, but it's pretty cool. It's worth. I think it's worth a watch. And I was talking to um fella who is like an Irish reviewer as well, not Sean Talks Movies, a different fella. Um and he was telling me that, it while I just asked him, was it better than the first one or what's the story with the second one? And he's like, they kind of complement each other really well. So it's not better, but it enhances the first one. And then the second one kind of makes you want to go back and watch the first one again. And they kind of work well in unison then. And I'm like, that's really cool. Like, because that's kind of what you want when you make a second movie, right? You want to kind of
Mhm.
reinforce the first one and then add to the story and expand the universe, right? So like that's kind of like the main goal of when you like that's what you really want to do, right? So yeah, I'm excited to. I probably won't go and watch it on the big screen, but I'll definitely watch it when it gets released for sure. So yeah, that's
Gotcha.
that's that's another one on the list for me. I started watching. There's a new documentary on Amazon as well called Cocaine Quarterback, which is like about this dude who played for like, um, what's it called? He played for like California, like college or whatever they're called, like UCA or whatever the fuck they're called. I can't think of the name of the college. Really big college team, and he was like playing for them, and then turned out like that all the guys were going. Like he was like a reserve player. All the guys were getting signed to the NFL and stuff, and this guy wasn't good enough. And he's like, all his friends were becoming millionaires. He's like, how am I going to become a millionaire? And basically, just events just happen over a couple of years, and he ends up being like a fucking drug kingpin working for the cartel and all. And like this
Oh
shit actually
wow.
happened. Like it was insane, man. It was like, and I'm not into football, and it's not really about football anyway. So, but it's a really really cool story. But yeah, like I think it was at a time like it happened in the very early 2000s, like 2001, 2002 was when he was playing football. And I believe they say and I don't know any of this, but there was no team, an NFL team in LA at the time, so the Rams weren't there or whatever. So like the college ball was like the biggest thing. So like they were pretty much celebrities. These players that were playing for the college like team, like some of the players started going out with the Kardashians and stuff. Like it was bizarre. Like so, he literally was like famous, but then became like he started selling like steroids and stuff, and then just naturally progressed into selling drugs and got in contact with the fucking cartel, and then just like was under the thumb of the cartel, like trying to move cocaine into fucking Australia and stuff. It got crazy, like it was bizarre. But it's only 3 episodes, and it's a wild ride of a documentary. I'm not really mad at the documentaries that much, but this one was good. This one was different. It was cool.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's around Glenn Powell. He's got a show out at the moment called Chad Powers, which is like kind of a comedy. It's on Disney Plus or Hulu, and it's pretty funny. I think I watched the first 4 episodes. It's basically he's like a college football player as well. He ends up fumbling the final game, and the college end up losing the finals or some shit, and he ends up becoming like a kind of like enemy of the state, and like everyone in the world, like everyone in the state thinks he's a joke, and he never ends up getting signed to the NFL, and kind of jumps forward a few years, and he's kind of washed up, but he's like his dad's rich, so he's got money, but he's like just out drinking and doing drugs, and he's like a Kenny Powers kind of fucking
Yeah, I was
waster,
gonna
like,
say it sounds like Kenny
yeah.
Powers.
So basically, in the show, I can't remember what his real name is, but in the show, he basically gets the idea. His dad works in Hollywood as like a prosthetics guy. So he's like, "Oh, I need you to come and drop off. I've got a mask in the back of the car that needs to come into the studio. They're needed for a film." And he's driving into the studio and he sees like a big like Mrs. Doubtfire fucking thing on the wall. And then he's looking at the mask and he's like, that he hears that there's like an open tryout for one of these other teams. So he puts the mask on and pretends to be a different person to go try out for the team. And obviously he's a phenomenal player. So he ends up getting on the team. But then, you know, he has to put on like a southern accent and he makes up this character that he's like this guy, Chad Powers. And obviously, I thought Eastbound and Down straight away when he said Powers, and then obviously Mrs. Doubtfire and all this stuff. Like, so it's kind of a play on those movies and TV and stuff like that. But it's quite funny. I think
Mhm.
it's probably worth a go. Like, it's 25-minute episodes. Like, it's not a big commitment. Like, and I think episode 5 aired yesterday, maybe. So I haven't seen that yet. Actually, I'm gonna watch it after when we finish up here. I'm gonna go and watch it straight away because
Nice.
it's still a bit early for me. So I'll watch that before bed, I think. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Highly recommend. Um, that's kind of it for me for the week. If you unless you have something you want to bring up before we break.
Just wanted to say, like, for those of you who are One Piece fans, on this Monday, the 20th was the mark of the 26th anniversary of the One Piece anime.
Wow, 26 years, man. That's crazy.
Yep.
And what episode are
Still
they on?
going
What's the
strong.
number now? 1190 something or something like that.
Let me double check because I can't remember. I think the current episode 1146.
I was kind of close.
Yeah,
That's cool, man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
it's going on strong.
Yeah, and no end in sight, right?
Well, it
Is the
it
manga
just
going to end soon?
no, not that I can tell yet. There's quite a lot of backstory going on right now. And they're still in one of the major areas that they've been talking about. They've been talking about, like, so for the island that they're currently on, they've been talking about this island, like, in terms of the anime, they've been talking about this island since maybe episode 1 something, like 10 something. And they're not there yet, but they're about to get to that island. They're about to, so the current island that they're on is Egghead. The next island that they're planning on getting to within the anime is called Elbaf, which is
Okay,
the home of the giants.
cool.
They the first time they ever met the giants was in Little Garden, which was like was kind of like a prehistoric island that had, like, age old things living there, like from hundreds of years ago. And two giants were there, like, battling each other for like 100 years because of a dispute that they had a long time ago. And so, like, essentially, if you've been taking a look at the new stills and pictures from the One Piece live action, like, for season 2, you actually see those giants on the screen.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, so you're gonna, like, for anybody that's watching the live action, you're gonna meet those giants. They're named Dory and Broggy. And in the current timeline of One Piece, the Dory and Broggy back after 900 something episodes. We finally see them again.
Cool.
It's just that's the one thing I love about One Piece, man, is, like, no matter
They're
where
always
you
showing
are
up.
in the world, they always come back.
Yeah.
Somehow they always get brought back.
That's good. That's what you want, man.
It's,
Like it's
it's
great to
good
have such
story
a
writing.
yeah, yeah. It's just great to have an open world that can always be re-referenced.
Hmm.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it there. Are you around next week or are you off?
I should be around next week. I don't think I have anything going on.
Next Wednesday is
I'll,
the 29th. But yeah, maybe ping me and let me know like a couple of days before and I can kind of, work around it. But
yeah,
if
we'll
we're
do.
around, happy days. We can talk more about Gen V. I know the thumbnail was Gen V this week, so apologies to anybody. We didn't really talk about it too much, but we can dig a bit deeper next week into Gen V, and I have a couple of other kind of nerdy bits that we can talk about. Like, again, there's some stuff developing in Star Wars land, and I'm seeing some more stuff from like Spider-Man and stuff. We can maybe let that develop a little more and then kind of dig a bit deeper into it. But appreciate anybody who's listening to us or watching us this late into the video or listening to us on Spotify. Shout out to the people on Spotify, actually, by the way, because I'm seeing we're starting to average like better listens on the podcast, like audio wise. So there's more people kind of listening to this rather than watching it now, which is great to see. So if you're listening to us, I really appreciate it. Thank you, and make sure you leave a rating on the episode and all that sort of stuff. You can give the channel a rating, and it helps us in the algorithms and stuff like that. Because it's tough being seen there in the large sea that is podcast land. And shout out to anybody who's listening to this on or watching this on YouTube as well. Leave us a comment below. Smash that like button and sub if you're new to the channel. All that beautiful YouTube jargon. And we'll see you next week. Take it easy. Bye
Have a good
bye.
one.